So this is the second part of branching. Now we're going to talk about a different type of control. We use the switch case control when we have a very large decision tree. That way we don't have to look at all the else ifs down through the decision tree. Let's take a look. Let's walk through a multi-state decision flowchart, and I'm going to give you the code that goes with it so we can see how we want something that's a little bit more concise. So we're going to take our conditional sunny. Is it sunny? And what we're going to see here is, notice I've got the if, and I put in a new variable called weather condition. So this will hold what the weather condition is. If it's equal to sunny, and yes it is, I'll go for a walk. So therefore, if it is, I'll go for a walk. See that? Well, what if it's not sunny? Let's look at the next state. Is it raining? Else if weather condition equals raining. Yes, it is raining. Well, I'll go out and dance in the rain. All right, the next one. No, it's not raining. Is it foggy? So here's the code. Else if weather condition equals foggy. Why, yes, it is. So we'll sound the foghorn. All right, it's not foggy. Is it snowing? Here's the code again. Else if weather condition equals snowing. I'll build a snowman. Yeah, it is snowing. Okay, let's go out and build a snowman then. No, it's not. Now I can do just a plain old else. Well, what else can I do? None of these states are true. I'll just stay home and read a book. Now what I want you to see, look at this. Look how verbose it is. I'm repeating weather condition, weather condition, weather condition all the way down. I wonder if there's a better way to state this. And notice that it's very linear, isn't it? It's if this, do that one. Nope. If this, do that one. Nope. If this, do that one. Nope. If this one, do that one. See that? It's a multi-state decision tree. We want a way of condensing this verbose decision tree. All right, so here we go. Ready? We're going to walk through this bit by bit. If the weather condition equals sunny, we're going to do it this way. Look at the syntax. We've replaced the if with a switch. We move the weather condition within the switch, and then we put a case. That would be equal to this. So now it's going to go through and it's going to say, what is the value of the weather condition? Now it's going to load that up, and then it's going to go through each of these cases and check. Does it equal this one, this one, this one, this one? And you're going to see that here in a moment. Ready? So go for a walk. And I put that in. I'll explain the break here in a moment. So here's the other else if, and I put another case. So the weather condition is equal to some value. It comes down and it checks. Am I equal to sunny? Nope. Am I equal to raining? Well, if I am, then I'll dance in the rain. Let me explain the break to you now. It will continue to flow all the way through these. So I could put case sunny or case raining right under there, and then has a code block under that. So it will just continue flowing through. If I put these breaks in, a break actually tells a circuit to break out of it. This is a code block. The switch is a code block. We use breaks in code blocks, whether they're loops or switches. You're going to learn about loops here momentarily. We use the break to break out of the control that we're in. So right now what it would do is it would come down. If I am sunny, then I'll go for a walk, and then break. It'll jump out of the switch block and go down to the next line of code. So it would not go to case. If this break is not there, it would go for a walk, and then it would come down here and it would just fly right through these. Okay? All right, let's continue on. If else, here's our foggy. All right, well, here's foggy, and I'll sound the foghorn. You can kind of see the flow here. So here's snowing. Else. Okay, well, in a switch case, we just use the default, which is what an else is. It's the same thing as a default. It says, all right, well, none of these match, so I'm just going to do this state instead as my default. Read a book. take a look at the syntax. It'll be slightly different depending upon which language that you're in. However, you can see it has a flow to it, doesn't it? It has a structure. And if you look at it, it makes a lot of sense why you would use this over the multi-state else-if tree. All right, so let's break this down, shall we? The expression, that's the expression's value that we're going to match up to each of the case statements. So the case statements, if the expression matches this value, whatever that value is, then we'll do the code block. So therefore, this is a code block, this is a code block, this is a code block, and so is the default, and this entire switch is also a code block. We'll use the break to stop and jump out of the switch. That's what the break's going to do. The default is the else. It's the catch-all. It's the default. If none of the others match, then you're going to do this one. That's what it is. All right, so let's look at switch statements in other languages. Ready? Here's C. All right, that looks pretty familiar. Here's PHP. That looks pretty familiar. Look at the two. They're pretty similar. Here's JavaScript. And here I'm using the document write instead of the console.log. However, you can see, look at how similar these are. They all use the break. They have their own way of displaying information out. They have the curly braces. The variables are a little bit different. C and JavaScript don't have the $sign, although in JavaScript you can put that $sign in there. That's something different. We'll talk about variables and syntax for JavaScript when we get into the JavaScript course. What are the takeaways? The switch case is much more concise. It's a concise representation of a longer an if, else conditional control statement. It's for those multi-state decision trees. We don't have to repeat the conditional comparison in each branch. Therefore, it's more concise, right? It's not as verbose. It's easier to read. It gives you control to determine what code to run and execute. Well, that's what branching does. So congratulations, you've now learned all about branching and how that's common throughout the languages with the ifs and the switches.